Hey budget friends, it's Steph with Stefsonabudget. Welcome or welcome back for another video. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at our June debt update. Excited to see our progress, and we've got our first setback, if you will, of 2025. So I'm ready to share all the things with you guys. Let's go ahead and jump on in. We're going to start with my 2025 emergency fund tracker. I created this tracker for myself this year, and I had set a goal for us to save $1,600 into our emergency fund this year. So I want to continue to try and balance both savings and debt payoff, especially in today's economy. So last year, we successfully saved $1,000, and this year I bumped that on up to $1,600. So that is what we're looking at. I'm doing that in a combination of ways. Primarily, I am setting aside $64 per paycheck. That will get me to, so I'm paid biweekly, and so is my husband. And so what I did was just took that $1,600 and divided it, so $1,600 and divided it by the 26 paychecks, which gave us 61.5. So is that right? 1,600 divided by 26. Yeah. I don't know why I'm saving 64, but that's what I'm doing. So hopefully, as long as I'm consistent with that, I'll actually save, let's see, 64 times 26 is 1,664. And I actually think that I bumped that number up because that's the way the savings challenges I chose to use to save that money added more to 1,660. So I think that's where that number came from. Nonetheless, we're trying to at least add 1,600. So primarily doing that through savings challenges every payday. But I also keep most of my emergency fund and several other sinking funds in my high yield savings account. And because I keep that money in there, I earn interest on a monthly basis as well. And so I'm tracking that, and any interest I earn in that account also just goes to building my emergency fund. So we will hopefully add the 1,600 plus whatever we earn in interest throughout the year. So let's go ahead and I'm going to pull this out, you guys. I don't have much to share. I didn't complete any savings challenges in the month of June for our emergency fund. We saved our $64 per paycheck. So we save $128 essentially a month, but we didn't complete anything. And so I'm not going to track that, but we did earn our July interest. So let's go ahead and account for that. And for July, our interest came out to $43.91. And so far with challenges and interest, we were at $909.51. We're going to go ahead and add the $43.91. And now our savings is at $953.42 total for this year in our emergency fund. So let me go ahead and pop this back in. All right, and I am very much a visual tracker. Let me just go ahead and unfold this. I was hoping to not have to take all of the pages out, but that's just not gonna work, you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna drop the cents. That just muckies things up. So I'm gonna say 953, and then I'm using this 100 wizard doodles from Heidi over at debtfreecharts.com. So if you visit debtfreecharts.com, she's got tons of different varieties of trackers for debt, savings, reading, all kinds of stuff, you guys. It's a great little website. But I'm a visual person. I like to see the numbers, but I also like to see kind of the visual and coloring. It gives my brain a different aspect of progress to look at. So I can see my number progress, but I can also see like I'm already more than halfway towards that goal we set. So I love the different types of visuals. So you'll see me do numbers and coloring here on my channel if you're new. So $953, each of our little doodles is $16. So we can color in 59. And unfortunately, last month when I was coloring, I got ahead and conveniently I have 59 colored. So I'm all caught up again and I don't have anything to color in, but we are 59% of the way towards our $1,600 goal, which is phenomenal, you guys. All right, so that's our emergency fund. Let's go ahead and jump into our 2025 debt. So this 2025 overall debt was another sheet that I created for myself at the beginning of the year. And I listed all my debts, starting balance, interest rates, minimum payments, due dates, and I have a little paid off section. We started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 debts, including my mortgage. You don't see me track my mortgage here on this channel, but you do see me track the other 6. And that includes credit cards, student loans, and vehicles. And so far, we have been able to pay off 2 credit cards and our student loans. So we are 3 debts down of the 6 you guys see us track, which is awesome. All right, last time when we did May's debt update, we completed our student loan, which was this one. So we need to go ahead and set up the new debt tracker for the new debt snowball, which for us is our Wells Fargo. So let me go ahead and do some shuffling and we're gonna fill this out together. So we're working on our Wells Fargo credit card and our starting balance for for June was $7,179. Yes. Okay. So $7,179. All right. So this is a pretty big one. It's our biggest consumer debt outside of our vehicles that we've worked on this year. I'm gonna grab some water, you guys. Working from home is sometimes really weird because it's like noon when I'm filming this, but I haven't used my voice yet today. So I still feel like I have morning voice, even though I've been up for like 6 hours, if that makes sense. So a little scratchy, a little froggy. Okay, we have a goal payoff date of, originally, if I flip back to the goals I set at the beginning of 2025, I said I wanted to pay my Wells Fargo down to $2,000 by the end of 2025. Well, we've been accelerating our goals a little bit, so I'm still going to use the December 31st, 2025 payoff date. And we'll see if we, at minimum, I'd like to get this down to $2,000, which would mean paying off $5,179 and carrying $2,000 of that balance into 2026. But I'm hopeful as a stretch goal, we could just knock this out entirely since we were a couple months ahead on our previous debt payoff. But I don't want to make things too hard. I want to push myself, but I also need to keep things realistic, right? So we're just going to do the best we can. Right now, when I started 2025, my minimum payment for this card was $76, and it has gone down because obviously you guys know the more you pay on credit cards, the more they drop your balance so that they can earn some more interest from you. This card for me is at a 0% interest until March of 2026, you guys. It ends 3/26/26. So let me just note that here. Because at minimum, that says to me, this full balance needs to be paid by that so we don't get hit with any interest. Okay, my due date for this account is the 20th of every month. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in there. And then I've got a spot here where I've got a goal payoff date and then I can note my final payoff date. So I'll be able to see, did I hit that goal? Was I close? Was I early? Was I late? That sort of thing. And then I've got the tracker and a little spot for notes here. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the payments we made in June to our Wells Fargo because we paid off our previous debt $522 and then immediately started on this one. So for June, now I'm saying June, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and put a 5/31 date on here because like I said, we paid off the last one on 5/22. But this also, what am I thinking? This is also part of my June budget, if I remember correctly. You know what I want to do here? I wish I would have made, I might make a adjustment here. I'm going to put start 5/23/25. Okay. Just so I can note when I started working on this balance, although the date here kind of gives me an idea, right? Okay, so my starting balance obviously was the $7,179. And on the 31st, we went ahead and made a payment. So I'm going to do minus 446, okay? And this was a combination of part of the debt snowballs I still have in my budget from paying off previous debts. Also, a mini savings challenge was in there, so that's great. Let's just go ahead and add on all the payments, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the numbers. On the 13th, we made another $150 payment. That was also a debt snowball in the budget. On 6/19, we went ahead and made a $30 payment. Oh, I think my pin's giving out, you guys. And that was a mini savings challenge that we completed. So you can see my minis are coming in strong, you guys. So I'm going to put up here debt snowball. I might need to grab a new pen, y'all. Okay, mini. This was just a debt snowball. So I'm just trying to kind of indicate where that money came from, because I like to see if things I'm doing are working. Are savings challenges that I'm doing working? Are the debt snowballs working? That sort of thing. Okay, then we have one more payment on 6/26, just squeaking in. We made a payment of $259. And you guys, okay, let me get a different pen. All right, let's use this little Sharpie pen here that I've got. $259. And this came from our debt binder, you guys. Sorry, I've got to turn, yeah. Okay, so those are all the payments we made towards this debt, starting 5/23 through the end of June. So let's go ahead and do the math here. So 7,179 minus 446 left us at 6,733. All right, sorry about that, guys. My daughter came in and was begging for some Olive Garden. She's got an orthodontist appointment today, so her teeth are always hurt after she gets her braces and stuff adjusted, so she likes to eat good before then, but we're not doing it today. Okay, so brought us down to $6,733. We then took away $150, which brought us down to $6,583. Okay. A little mini challenge for $30 brought us to $6,553. And then $259 from our debt binder is going to bring us down to $6,294 to wrap up the end of June. So that's where we're at for this debt going into July. So pretty darn good progress. Let's see what that totals. 446, 150, 330, 259. So $885 we put towards that debt in a combination of different ways. I am very, very, very happy with that. Okay, let's grab our little coloring tracker out. So this is another one that I created for myself. It's up in the Etsy shop. So our start date, we're gonna put 5/23. Okay, and then we've got a spot for our end date, and our total debt is the $7,179. At least where we're starting when we focus on this one. We've been paying on it all year, obviously, right? So each rows is, we've got 99 of them. So 7,179 divided by 99 is gonna be, I'm gonna just round down. So it's gonna be about $72 per rose, okay? And what did I say we paid off? $885. So if we divide that by 72, we can color in 12 of our roses here today. So let's go ahead and do that really quick.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go.
All right, friends, we've got 12 of our roses colored in, so super exciting to, again, just see that progress in a different light. That's pretty darn good. I am excited with where we're starting with this one. Super fun. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at just our debt now overall. So we're going to look at all of our debts for 2025 and the payments. All right, so we ended May. We had paid off our student loans, so we're not carrying that over into June, which is great. And so we've paid off the City 1, City 2, and student loans. So we're here on the Wells Fargo, and we said that we put $885 in payments towards that account this month, and because that's 0% interest, it's tit for tat, so we have a balance now of $6,294 going into July. All right, next up we have my 2 car payments. So we made the minimum payments here, which on the Subaru for $5,831, which brought our balance down to $19,540.63. Both of these vehicles, when did we get these? I think we got the truck at the very end of 2022, but we actually didn't start making payments till 2023, and then we've got the Subaru in 2023. So these are both new vehicles pretty much to us. So our truck payment, we paid the $10,1260, which brought that balance down to $43,000. So we're coming down. Oh, just kidding. I got an error. I'm thinking of July. Let me grab my whiteout real quick, if I can find it. Okay, so actually, that brought us down to $44,124.16. So next time we'll come down by the 1,000. All right, so I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I did have kind of my first setback of 2025 as far as debt goes, and I'm not going to really look at it as a setback so much as it just is kind of one of those life things that we didn't prepare for. So we did unfortunately add a debt. It is 0% interest because it's just an installment plan on our Apple Card. My husband got a new phone. And so we added $1,499 to our Apple account for that new phone. And so we're going to go ahead and bring down the $1,499 here in June. And this is a monthly installment, so we'll never have interest, but I would like to pay it off. It's like 24 equal payments or something like that. I definitely don't want to be making this payment for 2 years because Lord knows by then we'll probably need another new phone. But it's $62.45, I believe, is the payment. So we put $62.45 towards that new debt in June. And oopsies. What did I do? Oh, shucks. You guys, this whiteout's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, so what I wanted to do was put the payment here and the new balance here. Oh boy. Okay. So we paid $62.45, right? Which, let's see, $14.99 minus $62.45 is going to bring that down to $14.36.55. So you guys will see this new payment in my budget going forward for, oh, I'm going to need that still. What am I doing? For the rest of 2025. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, why don't you switch? You know what I mean? Knock that out real quick. I don't really want to shuffle up my goal, especially since this 0% will never run out and this one will. So I think I'm just going to keep plugging along. And, you know, if we can get that done sooner, great. I'm not going to fuss a whole ton with it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. All right, let's go ahead and add up our new debt here going into July. So obviously not going to be as much progress because we paid off and then we went and knocked $14.99 back onto the budget. Okay, so $6,294 plus $19,540.63. I'm going to just add these up, you guys. Okay, brings our new July starting debt to $71,395.34. So let me do some switching again. Okay, this is also a sheet I created. It is also up in my Etsy shop. So in June, we started our debt at $72,068.86. Okay, our ending balance for June is $71,395.34. I am going to just go ahead and put on here added $14.99 in debt, just so I know that, you know, the reason I have less progress is because we added debt in June. But we still have moved the needle in the right direction regardless of adding that, so that's exciting. So let's take that from the starting balance, and that means we've made a total progress of $673.52 in debt gone. And you can see that is significantly different from my other numbers, and now you know why. But that is okay. Like I said, I'm not going to kick myself in the pants too much for it. It's just part of life, and we're going to move on. Okay, so still overall, let's take a look. I started my debt-free journey in well, I've been on this debt-free journey for a while, and then I got a new car and all kinds of things of life has happened. But in 2023, we started at $122,819. In 2025, we started the year at $87,672.04. And halfway through the year, we are down to $71,395.34, meaning halfway through the year, we've paid off $16,276.70. I'm going to take that as a win all dang day, you guys. So I'm excited. Okay, let's go ahead and go to this tracker. Now, you're going to ask me, Stephanie, what's this tracker all about? So based on the goals that I set the beginning of the year, we set a goal to pay off City 1, City 2 student loans and to get Wells Fargo down to $2,000, which came to $14,799 paid off. So I'm tracking our progress on that amount. So the way that we get that number is I'm down to $6,294 between those four debts combined. So $6,294, but my goal was not to pay Wells Fargo off. My goal was to pay it down to $2,000. So I have to take $2,000 off that, which means of this $14,799, I only have $4,294 of that left. You guys, that's insane. Oh my gosh, it's insane. Okay, so this is what I have left, which means I have paid off $10,505 of this debt right here. So 10,505. Each of my squares is worth $148, which means we are 70% of the way done with this goal, which means I can color up to 70, which is gonna be 75, 74, 73, 72, 71, 70. So I can color up to this box right here, you guys. Let me find the right Sharpie because the last thing I want to do is mess this one up. Okay, I do think it's this one. So 50, 1, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, okay, yeah. So 70 is going to take us to right here, you guys. So let me color this in and we'll take a look at something new in the binder. All right, you guys, that is all caught up. So you might be thinking, why don't you just add the 2,000 and call it good if that's your new goal? And I had thought about it, but I really wanted to keep the integrity and track the progress of that original goal. And then anything above that, you know, is just above and beyond, right, you guys? So goals change. We know that. This journey is definitely not like a straight line. There are a lot of curves for sure. So, you know, we just take it day by day, but I'm just going to continue to track this original debt amount that I wanted paid off. And you guys, I can't be more than happy with 70% of the way done by mid-year. That's fabulous. Okay, so what I did do is I went ahead and grabbed another one of these sheets. Both of these, again, are from Heidi over at Debt Free Charts. I grabbed this one. Now it says savings, but I don't care. I'm using it for debt because it's Harry Potter and you guys know I can't resist. So what I've gone ahead and done is added in that last $2,000 from the Wells Fargo plus the new debt of $14.99 for the cell phone. And I've made a separate tracker, which means if we get through this original goal, then we can start on this one and we'll be able to see the progress on our original goal plus anything above that on this separate tracker. So I might be working on 2 of these now. And in fact, I will be because we've got of this $34.99, I made a payment to that cell phone, right? And so we have the, let's figure out what that is, flipping you guys all around. We have the 2,000 on the Wells Fargo and 1436 on, we're just gonna call it, oh, perfect. We're gonna call it, wait a minute, 2,000 plus, I'm gonna call this 1437. So 3437, I'm gonna drop the change because it just doesn't work well on the coloring trackers. So 3437 is what's left because we made a cell phone payment. So if we take that minus 3499, it means we've paid off $62. 62 divided by 35 is 1. I can color in one whole whopping square of this little tracker, which is awesome. Because we have to make those minimum payments, right? So there will be progress on this throughout the year. Maybe not a ton, but we will see. Okay, so 1 box starting that new additional debt goal that we've kind of got. All right, you guys, I hope I didn't thoroughly confuse you. I know I got a lot going on, but like I said, I'm a pen to paper gal and I love all the ways to track them. Give me all the trackers, especially when it comes to debt. I just love seeing all the different ways. So 71,395 is where we're gonna start off for July. Not bad, $16,000 down this year so far, you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me on this journey. If you're new here, I hope you'll stick around and see how the second half of our year goes. But I just want to say once again how much I appreciate all of your guys' support, encouragement. It really means the world to me. And I'm always hopeful to come to you at the end of the month and say, hey guys, thanks for the support and accountability. I did my part and held up my end of the bargain. But we all know life happens and there are setbacks, and that's okay too. You know, this journey is real, and sharing the real stuff is what's so cool to me. I love seeing the real that you guys present too. So anyways, I'm rambling at this point. I just wanted to say again how much I appreciate you guys and all your support. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button to stick around, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.